Okay, welcome back to Vancouver Carpenter. Today we're going to talk about why I give GARDZ the thumbs down. Hopefully that worked for an adequate thumbnail. Anyways, yeah, so let's see, what is this? GARDZ, Problem Surface Sealer. It's got a picture of somebody ripping wallpaper off and showing all that torn paper on there. And what does it say? It's water-based, so that's one thing that's important to know. It penetrates, seals, and binds unstable surfaces, locks down torn drywall, seals wallpaper adhesive, provides water-resistant foundation. Water-resistant, not waterproof. So that's the first thing. Now, what would I use this stuff for? So what I would use this for is to seal torn drywall paper so that I don't get blisters as soon as the moisture from the mud goes into that torn drywall paper and makes it lift and causes all those horrible blisters. So I've tried this stuff a couple times in the past and been less than impressed with the results. I always thought it was because I didn't wait long enough. So it says right on here, let me find it. Okay, it says after GARDZ has completely dried, apply skim coat or spackling to achieve smooth, uniform surface. So it doesn't actually say how long it needs to completely dry. But in the past, I've tried to do it after maybe 3 or 4 hours and had bubbling issues. So this time I thought, all right, well, I must have just done it too soon. So what I did this time is I waited 24 hours. I didn't coat anything until the next day. Now, most of what I did turned out okay. So in most places it performed as I needed it to, but not everywhere. And that's the problem, is I don't find it predictable. So there is another product, and I think it might even be by Zinsser, but it's the shellac-based stuff, and that's what I always use. Why? Because within an hour or two, it is totally dry, 100% waterproof, and I can get on with my job. So this one I had to wait a whole day, and it didn't work. Now let's check out these areas that I'm complaining about. Okay, so one of them is this bathroom that I had to fix a ton of damaged board all around the sides. There was crown molding in here, it got ripped down. And so there was tons of bare paper. All right, let me get a light and we'll look up close. So as we can see, it's really bad. I have to cut all of that stuff out and repair it. And what's so annoying about this is final coated. I shouldn't have to do anything to this, and now I'm back to square one. We've also got this part of the wall that I used it on liberally. And I mean, I really coated the place. But we've still got all this stuff that blistered. So again, back to square one. So as you can see, this really chaps my hide. You know, like I've got this whole job here, like all these walls, all this ceiling, it needs to be sanded, it needs to be skim coated again. Yet, when I come in, I've got to spend about, half an hour to an hour farting about with all this stuff that totally throws off my rhythm. So that is, however, the nature of construction. You're always having to come in and take care of a bunch of little things. But if I had to use the shellac, which I'm way more familiar with, I wouldn't be having these problems. Now, that isn't 100%. Like, we could say that maybe the wallboard was just too damaged under those areas and it would have done it with the shellac. Maybe, maybe not. All I know is I always have good experiences with shellac, and I always have something that I still have to fix whenever I've tried to use GARDZ. So I have to say this is probably going to be the last time I ever use GARDZ on my job, because it's just failed me too many times, which is maybe about 3 or 4 times. And that's how many times I've used it. So, yep. Anyways, let's get to fixing it. I'll show you guys what I have to do to deal with this. Okay, so now in order to deal with this stuff, yeah, I gotta carve these all out, and it's pretty deep down. And hopefully that's under whatever baseboard they decide to use. Okay, so maybe I didn't have to go that far because it's just those little bits right there, but either way, I just want this blistered stuff right out. Because I don't want to do this twice. All right, I can live with that. Now I'm gonna sand this all because I want this to be flat and not build it out too much. So you can see how much I had to cut out here, just those big chunks. And I'm gonna put it in with 20-minute mud and this sheet of Fibofuse. Honestly, if I had mesh tape, I would just put mesh tape over those and then do the 20-minute mud, but I only have this stuff on me today. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna embed this Fibofuse over top of that damaged spot. So even though there was still brown paper under there, the combination of Kwikset and the Fibofuse is going to stop it from being able to pop back up again like it did. And I'm also going to put a quick coat over top of it as well. I feel like it could be wiped a little tighter. Feather my edges. Feather that like button if you're getting something out of this video. Okay, now I have to do the same thing to the bathroom. Okay, so here we have that coated. Once it kicks off, I'm gonna be able to put a finish coat on it. Same with this one. Okay, now that this is kicked off, we can, coat it. All right, needs a little more mud. All right, that should be adequate for something that's mostly going to get covered in baseboard and is about 5 feet down from eye level. Okay, and there we have that one coated out and not going to come back again. All right, so that might seem like quite the headache, and I know a lot of you guys are thinking, Ben, why don't you just cut them out and fill them? Well, because I want to make sure that when I come back tomorrow, I don't have the same problem again. So notice I was still having to go over the brown paper again. So if all I did was just carve those out and fill them with Kwikset, there might not be enough Kwikset to stop it from blistering again. However, with the Kwikset, the Fibofuse, and the mud on top, none of those are ever going to come back again. So for me, it's more about spending a little bit more time now and not having to come back for a whole nother day just to sand those, because I didn't take the extra time to make sure they're really good. So that is my experience of why I don't like Zinsser GARDZ. So I want you guys to leave in the comments your experiences. Let me know if you've had this. If you're a GARDZ lover, let me know why. And I just want to say thanks for watching Vancouver Carpenter. Let me know how you guys would have dealt with this. Okay, till the next one. Hope you're doing well.